got together. Well, if it hadn't been for everything that happened afterwards, who knows? They could be headed for the altar. Probably just as well you didn't play along with Johanka's harebrained scheme and found a better solution. Matthias would have had a fit if he'd lost his favorite dice. Bianca told me something about your little expedition to the woods. You really ran into a wolf. I thought Bianca must have been imagining things.
Not exactly. It was actually a wild dog, but Pa used to say those are even worse than wolves.
It's a good thing you were there with Bianca. Going back to help the survivors. That was very brave of you. When I went back to Skalitz, I met no one but footpads and cutthroats. If you hadn't come along, I doubt I'd be here to tell the tale.
You know what our parish priest always used to say? Without Christian charity, we'd all soon be dead. I couldn't just leave you all to your fate, could I? Any good Christian would have done the same.
Well, I'm not so sure. Not everyone has your courage. Did you go back to Skalitz again? To bury your pa and your brothers?
Yes, along with some more of our neighbors. We had an escort from the retired garrison, with Sir Hanish's kind permission.
Where are they buried?
Sammy's buried near the mines. He didn't like the mines. But his grave is on the hill, where I used to meet him for lunch. He loved it there. I know it's not consecrated ground. But what could I do?
God will understand. I buried Ma and Pa under the linden tree by our house. It's what they would have wanted.
Yes. Father and Stebo are buried in the churchyard in Rovna.
Once things settle, we'll be able to go back and pay our respects. And get the priest to bless their graves. I have no more questions. Thank you for telling me about everything, Teresa. I know it isn't easy to talk about.
It helped to talk to someone who knows what it's like. Thank you. I'm glad you came out of it in one piece.
Yeah, so am I. And I'm glad you did too.
By the way, Henry, I have something for you. The soldiers gave it to me when we brought you from Skalitz. I meant to give it to you earlier, but, you know, it belonged to one of the Skalitz garrison. They wanted me to have it for being brave, but I hope I'll never have use for such a thing.
Oh? How come? What is it?
It's a shield with the Skalitz crest. I'd like you to have it, to protect you, and as a keepsake from home.
Sure. Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for everything. I'd like to know... That... Wouldn't you like to take...
It's a bit late now.
I've got...
All right. Don't you feel hot under all...
Have you got...
All right.
won't. Wouldn't you like to take...
I'd love to.
Listen, Teresa. There's something I ought to tell you.
What is it? What's troubling you?
I'm not quite sure how to tell you, so I'll just spit it out. So Radzig Kobyla is... my father.
And King Wenceslas is my cousin. Oh, you really had me going.
No, I'm serious.
What? But, Henry, how on earth could...
I know. It was a shock for me, too. It turns out Sir Radzig and my mother had some... romance. Of course, he couldn't marry a commoner.
And your father? I mean the blacksmith. God, that sounds so odd. I mean Martin.
He knew Sir Radzig from way back. Martin... Pa married her before I was born, to protect her reputation, and raise me as his own.
And Sir Radzig allowed it?
Sure. Actually, I get a feeling the whole thing was agreed between them. Sir Radzig was glad she wasn't left alone with a child.
My God, Henry, that's just... And what will that mean for you?
I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
Well, it all depends on Sir Radzig, doesn't it? As his illegitimate son, I don't have any rights as such. But it's not like I've suddenly become a noble like Capon. And even though Sir Radzig has publicly acknowledged me, well, before I've, it hasn't really changed anything.
And if Sir Radzig decided to make a real noble of you, would you want that?
I wouldn't. And it's never going to happen anyway.
Why not?
A bastard remains a bastard. Even if Sir Radzig never had another heir, all his property would go to the king by rights.
You might be right. But can't you imagine it? Would you still care for me, a common millmaid, if you were a nobleman?
Of course. I'll always be fond of you. Nothing will change that.
I'll remember that. I hope you won't regret those words.
No fear of that.
My pleasure.
I must go, Henry. Take care.
Wouldn't you like to take...
What, now? But stop by later.
Wouldn't you like to take...
I'd love to. Henry, do you think sometimes about how it was in Skalitz?
How do you mean?
Back then, before everything. When I was taking care of the hens at the mill, taking Sammy his lunch at the mines.
It seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
In the summer, I always took my shoes off and walked barefoot the whole way. And when it was really hot, I'd stop at the stream and stick my feet in the water for a while.
I had to make do with the tub in the yard when I was helping Pa in the forge. You know how hot it gets there in the summer? I always sneaked off if I could, even though I knew Pa would tan my hide when he came home.
I remember that. He was always looking for you all over the village, but you'd be hiding somewhere with Fritz and Matthew. Me and the other girls used to follow you secretly, but we never told your pa where you were. And when he gave up looking for you, the three of you would go off to the woods to beat each other with sticks.
Yeah, we were playing at being knights. Jesus, I used to get black and blue from it. I can still feel some of the blows that big ox Fritz landed on me.
No more playing at nights. Now you're practically a real one.
Indeed, as you say, young damsel, I am the very soul of knighthood.
The noble Sir Henry of Balderdash, the very picture of manhood. Pray, what is your coat of arms, Sir Knight? A beer tankard? A pair of crossed chicken legs?
Such wicked words, you shameless wench. Being a knight is not about symbols, but about deeds. But my coat of arms should be a bolt of lightning above a stable.
I thought a knight was supposed to prove his manhood a bit differently than you with your lightning in the stable. And besides, it is unfitting to talk of such matters, lest there be complaints at the court that Sir Knight is wasting his strength on dallying with village girls.
Forgive me, fair maid. Love for you has clouded my reason.
Henry, you really are a donkey. Home already. See you another time then. I've got some. I hope you won't.
Thank you. Wouldn't you like to...
In this weather? Let's leave. Isn't it heavy?
Wouldn't you like to take...
I'd love to. Henry, let's play a game.
What game?
A guessing game. I have something with me today, and you have to guess what it is.
All right. You'll have to give me a clue, though.
Fair enough. Here's a clue for you. It's something you'd find in a tavern.
Is it a bed?
A bed? They have beds in taverns, that much is true. But no, I don't have a bed hidden on my person as it happens. And I thought you were more observant.
Is it beer?
Finally! What else would you go to a tavern for?
So it is beer. Let's be having it then.
Wait, that's not all. Since you guessed right, as a reward, you can choose. Either I'll give you the beer, or I'll reveal one piece of family wisdom our grandfather used to tell us.
Tough choice. All right, I'll take the wisdom.
Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Really, really ready?
Don't leave me in suspense. Tell me.
Right. Listen carefully. This is the wisdom of our family, passed down from generation to generation. When someone offers you free beer, take it.
Well, that's it. All right, you got me. I admit it. Nice one.
At least next time you will be wiser. Anyway, that's all the wisdom I have for you today. It's time me and my beer headed for home. Will you accompany us?
Well, naturally, I couldn't leave such a pretty pair to go alone.
Here we are. Thanks for stopping.
My pleasure.
talking here?
Greetings.
Can I be of service to you, Sir Divish? I've heard talk that something is going on in Pribyslavitz.
Henry, you've come at just the right moment. I sent a man to Pribyslavitz. My locator, Marius.
What's a locator?
A land allocator. I charged him with checking on the condition of the settlement to see if we can start rebuilding it.
You're planning to resettle the village?
Yes,
Why Pribyslavitz, of all places?
because it's been lying fallow and falling into ruin since it was sacked by Havelmetic years ago. It's about time that changed.
Well, it should be safe there now. We trounced that rabble on the battlefield.
Yes, and that's why I sent my master locator there. However, he should have been back long since.
If you've no objection, I could go and look for him.
I'd appreciate that. He probably just got delayed. But I'd be happier if you checked it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's all clear to me now.
What is? Who are you? You've no business here.
I'm Henry, and I was expecting to find you here.
What? How could you?
Sir Divish's locator went missing around these parts.
Well, it seems like he's all out of luck, don't it? Divish ought to have sent someone better than you to parley.
He didn't send me to parley, he sent me to deal with it.
Deal with it? There's plenty of us and you're on your own. So I think twice about how you're going to deal with that.
Let him go, right now. Or you can stay here and feed the crows, like the rabble who were here before you.
All right. No need to be hasty, eh? We'll be on our way then. Quietly. That fella's in the tent over there.
Help me. Thank you.
My pleasure. Sir Divish sent me to find you. And it looks like I arrived just in time.
God's truth.
I'm Henry of Skalitz.
My name is Marius Bielek, Master Locator. Sir Divish sent me here to survey the area.
Well, the outlaws are out of the way, so we can go and report to him, right?
Not just yet. Those bastards caught me as soon as I arrived. And so far all I've seen is the inside of the tent they tied me up in. I still have a job to do. Come along with me if you like. We'll report to Sir Divish afterwards.
I'll escort you then. At least I can make sure you don't get caught again.
What? Are there more of those bandits around?
No, I just meant... Never mind. Should we get going?
Look out. This is a good spot for the rat house. Every village must have one. It'll be nice and prominent here. It's on the hillside, so the foundations will stay dry. It can have its own little square, close to the church. There's no better site here. The church is still standing. Good. Good. Whoever built it did a good job. Considering how old it is and what it's been through recently, it stood up well. It won't be an easy job to fix it, but it can be done. Timber alone won't do, though. What the... We could fit at least one tradesman's shop here. Maybe a baker's? There's quite a lot of space here. It just needs clearing thoroughly. Then we could even fit stables here. The main approach road and the stream. This bridge needs reinforcing. It won't last long in this condition. I reckon it would make sense to build a weir over the stream down there. The water here is clean and can be used to supply the village until we sink a well. It's a good thing we have this stream. No point in building without a water source. Supplies and trade will flow through here. I can't even see past the trees and ruins whether there's room for anything there. But at least the trees are strong and healthy. All we need is a few good woodcutters, and we won't have to bring in any timber from elsewhere. Stone foundations. They'll come in handy, and we're close to the stream. Lots of space here. There's a well here already. All the better. Big space, clean water, close to the village green. A good site for an inn. That's that then. The most essential surveying is done.
So, Master Locator, ready to start building?
There's a long way to go before that. The few ruins that are left are basically beyond repair. It's all overgrown with brush.
Oh dear.
We'll have to get it all cleared before we can start rebuilding it.
So it is possible to rebuild everything?
Yes, absolutely.
But building a whole village is no small enterprise.
We'll need timber, lots of it, which isn't a problem in the middle of the woods, of course. We'll have to hire wage labor to begin with. Quite a lot of men. I think we should get started without delay. There's a lot of work involved, but it'll be well worth the effort. I can just imagine it. The church will dominate the whole settlement.
Oh, that's good news. When will you inform Sir Divish?
Why wait? I'll head to Talmberg right away. But would you keep an eye on things here in the meantime? It would be rather embarrassing to run into more bandits when I return with Sir Divish.
No problem. I'll be right here.
It shouldn't take us long. My lord, welcome to Pribyslavitz. That is to say, welcome back to Pribyslavitz after all these years. Well, what's left of it.
Not to worry, Marius. I'm glad to be back in my old hamlet. Although, it seems to have aged about as gracefully as I have over the years.
I beg to differ, sir. It's quite dilapidated, unlike your good self, but at least it's safe now. Thanks in part to Henry here, who also saved me from a predicament that cost me valuable time. Who knows? If it hadn't been for him, we might not even be talking now.
Well, lad, in the end, you managed things in your own way, I see. Just as you said you would.
I did my best, sir. They didn't look all that tough, so I put a bit of pressure on them and they took to their heels.
You were outnumbered and you scared them off?
They were greenhorns. I think they may have been a bit intimidated by me.
Let's hope they don't try anything like that again.
I'm quite sure they won't, sir.
Let's get down to the matter in hand, shall we? What state is Pribyslavitz in?
Sir, in my official capacity as locator, I am gratified to inform you that the hamlet of Pribyslavitz may be renewed. And indeed it offers prospects of considerable expansion beyond its former limits.
Splendid. Finally, some good news for this province.
And badly needed, too.
So, what have you discovered so far? I want to know all the details.
We had a scout around.
We conducted a basic survey, from which we can make a preliminary outline of the parcels. I already have in my head an initial plan of what can be built where.
We should certainly have a church. I'd like to preserve the existing one.
That should present no serious obstacles. The building is in much better condition than we anticipated. But extensive reconstruction will be required.
That's to be expected.
There's a stream here, and a well, right in the middle of the village.
Yes, and there are abundant woods around. Clearing them will provide both extra land and timber supplies that we can use right away.
Right now, I believe we're standing on the village green, aren't we?
The future green, that is. The village centre will comprise at least 6 large buildings to begin with. We can't fit any more than that here, so there will be other buildings away from the square. In particular, more extensive structures.
I'm glad to hear it. I never expected you'd find so much space here in the middle of the woods. The building work we're about to engage in is only the first part of my plan. Later, we'll clear more forest for agricultural land and build more farmhouses. But for now, we'll have to focus on more sensible goals.
As you wish, my lord.
A village isn't a village without villagers. You'll need new subjects. Even preparing the ground for building will need lots of labor. Where can we find so many people, sir?
You sound skeptical, lad. But it's a good question. I've already given it some thought. I've agreed with Radzik and Hanish that we shall make an announcement in Rattay to invite people to move here and help with the construction, which will bring them many benefits, but also obligations. In addition, I expect the prospects of a new home will appeal to your former Skalitz neighbors, more than a makeshift camp by the castle walls.
They'll be delighted, sir.
A splendid solution, sir. I've also been concerned about how to bring settlers here. But now it seems there will be no shortage of new inhabitants after all.
But rebuilding a whole village must cost a king's ransom, though.
It's true it won't come cheap. Before the tradesmen settle here and start producing and trading, it will be necessary to invest a certain amount of capital.
A certain amount? How much exactly?
I wouldn't venture to state a precise amount at this point, but I expect it will come to some thousands, even tens of thousands of groschen.
Well, that much? I hope you're good at haggling.
We shall, of course, attempt to procure everything at the best possible price, but raising a settlement from the ashes you see around you is a costly business. Nevertheless, I can assure you, my lord, that if all goes well, the investment shall all come back to you with interest.
I hope I shall live to enjoy it, Master Marius. It seems things are finally looking up. We routed the bandits in battle, and Henry took care of the remnants. When can we get to work?
Right away, as far as I'm concerned. All we need is people and the necessary funds. And we'll need someone to keep order, at least in the interim.
True. I'll leave you some of my men.
If I may, I would recommend quickly appointing a bailiff to take responsibility for the renewal of the village, its coffers and its citizens.
True. First things first. Since you understand these matters best, you shall take charge of the land parceling and building works. You'll be available to the bailiff, but answerable directly to me.
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you.
And, as regards the office of bailiff, what about you, Henry?
Yes, sir?
You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems, and you command the respect of your former Skalitz neighbors.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And you're also capable of maintaining law and order.
I must concur.
So, let us expedite matters. Henry, I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, in my domain.
My lord, it's a great honor. Thank you.
You will oversee the initial renewal and administration of the village that will set the ground for further development. But don't imagine it'll be a bed of roses, lad. Being bailiff doesn't mean you can do whatever you like. If you don't treat the settlers rightly, I'll soon find out and relieve you of your office. Besides, we can't spare a single groschen from the Talmberg coffers now, with the province in chaos. So, you'll have to cover the cost for the building work from your own purse.
Me? But Marius said it would cost a fortune.
True, but from what I hear, you know how to get your hands on coin enough. So, I expect you'll manage it just fine.
I'd like to know who's been spreading such gossip.
And I am assigning you certain specific tasks. You must ensure the rebuilding of the church. That means complete reconstruction, wall paintings, and a new altar. See to it that in the future, the village will be capable of supporting a certain number of people. For that, you will need to ensure the construction of essential artisans' buildings. And ultimately, the village must produce sufficient earnings to fund further expansion.
But, sir, I've never done...
I understand your concerns, but you'll be handsomely rewarded. I shall grant you the proceeds from the whole village for the first 5 years, and you have my permission to use the surrounding woods and land as you see fit.
Well, that's, I mean... Are you sure I'm the right man for the job, sir? It's a lot of responsibility.
As you said yourself, Henry, it's a great honor. Besides, you won't be alone in it. I'll assist you and supervise the construction work.
Phew. All right, then.
So, we're agreed. You'll give this document to the Rete bailiff. He'll make the announcement to invite settlers, which should ensure enough people to begin work. At the same time, your official appointment as bailiff will be announced.
I don't know what to say, sir.
I'm sure you won't disappoint me, Henry. And now I must get back to my duties at Talmberg. Send word when everything is prepared.
Certainly, sir. Have a safe journey.
Farewell, sir. What now?
Before we can start building as much as an outhouse, we'll have to get the whole area cleared, and we'll need lots of people to work the land and parcel it out.
Right. So I suppose I'd better get to Ratai first and see to that announcement.
Indeed. I'm sure the bailiff will be more than happy. It will get the refugees out of his hair, and the citizens will stop complaining. I'll stay here for now and start planning the building plots. As soon as the laborers arrive, I'll start allocating work to them.
I have a document for you from Sir Divish. It concerns the renewal of Pribyslavitz.
The village you drove those bandits out of?
Very same.
So it's true then? Good. Good. Let me see that document then.
Here it is.
So what have we here? It says I should announce that anyone interested may move to Pribyslavitz to live and work. And Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush also give their consent. In that case, let's not waste any time. Come along with me. See you.
I'm at your service. God be with you.
Hear ye, hear ye. It is hereby announced, in the name of Sir Hanush and Sir Divish, that you, the citizens of Ratai, as well as those who have found temporary refuge here, are permitted to move to the hamlet of Pribyslavitz to the north of Talmberg Castle, wherein you shall be vouchsafed a new life and new dwellings, providing that you shall contribute to the renewal of the hamlet. All those who choose to accept this offer shall be exempted from payment of taxes for a period of 5 years. They shall be permitted also to make use of timber from the surrounding woods and water from the streams. The hamlet of Pribyslavitz lies in the domain of Sir Divish of Talmberg, and all who settle there shall be duty-bound to him. It is furthermore hereby announced that Henry of Skalitz is appointed to the administration of Pribyslavitz and the office of bailiff therein, which office and privilege have been conferred upon him by Sir Divish for loyalty and services rendered. I would therefore recommend that our Skalitz friends consider this offer very seriously, as nothing better is likely to come your way anytime soon.
If I can sneak out.
I never...
Welcome back. What news from Ratai?
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslavitz.
Then allow me to congratulate you. What will be your first step?
First, actually, I'm not quite sure. What would you recommend?
As it happens, I already saw to a few things in your absence. You might have noticed that the first people have come from Ratai.
Yeah, I saw some heading here right away.
So when they arrived, I was able to start clearing building plots with them. After they'd erected some temporary dwellings, that is.
How do I choose what to build where?
I've already given it some thought on your behalf. I even wrote it all down in the accounts ledger. Everything will be recorded there. I'll make a note of every change as we proceed.
Thanks. That'll be a big help. And where can I find this book?
It will always be kept at the Rat House.
What about the workers' wages and buying materials for artisans?
The money must be put in the trunk here. The expenditures for wages and materials will be taken from it, so you should keep it topped up to prevent delays. Which reminds me, there's the matter of my own pay to be resolved.
Yes, of course.
Sir Divish guaranteed me a fixed income. What's more, this job is an exceptionally big one.
I see. But how much are you thinking?
I have a record of payment here somewhere. Here it is. Let's say 1/4 more than that.
I can't afford that much. At least not now, right at the start. But I do need your help. How about this much?
That's a fair offer. It seems we understand each other. I agree.
Good. I'll put your wages in the trunk too. Are you sure it's quite safe?
Quite. Only you and I shall have a key and access to the trunk. Besides, we'll have guards on watch here.
That's reassuring.
That's about all to begin with. If you need any more details, I'll be happy to explain things to you.
So, how...
Let's see. You're still far from having the income you need to make the village. Well, the church is still in ruins. We're on the right track.
All right. Could you... What are my duties as bailiff?
As bailiff, you must see to it that the village grows and prospers. You'll have to resolve disputes between citizens. and decide what I should have built. The coin for it will come from your own purse. Basically, you'll have to keep the whole locality under control, but you can't just do whatever you like. You're still answerable to Sir Divish, as am I.
Which means...
Which means that if the folk here are unhappy, word will... So you'd better see to it that there's no thieving, and folk have jobs to do, and their wages are paid.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on things. Nothing. I want to build some...
Certainly. Mark.
No, we don't have a tavern here yet. People need to wash the dust down after a hard day's work.
It's impossible. Check what you need in the ledger.
I'd like to build the rat house.
It's impossible.
I'd rather not build. I've decided what to build.
All right. I'll muster the labor. Come with me.
We're gonna build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've got what we need. Let's get to work.
I want to build...
Certainly.
I'd rather... Yeah. Yeah. Marius, there's work to be done.
I'll muster the labor. Come with me.
We're gonna build here.
Yes.
I'm ready.
We've got...
Could you explain something to? How do I...
Those are the workers' wages. Costs of material and equipment for tradesmen and so on.
And what if I don't have enough coin?
Then production will grind to a halt. Watch out for that. Folks soon get grouchy if they're not getting paid. The amount needed each day is recorded in the accounts ledger too. So you should keep enough in the trunk to cover the wages.
And how do I pay the workers?
Don't concern yourself about that. I'll take it.
So I could put enough money there for, say, 3 days in advance?
Indeed. Simple enough, isn't it?
All right. Thanks. How do I build houses?
First, find out how much it'll cost, and whether the upkeep won't ruin you. Everything is written in the ledger. You can check it all there, or just come and see me.
Sure. Nothing. I want to build...
Certainly.
Trade is important.
It's impossible.
I'd rather not be. Marius, there's work to be done.
Come along with me then.
The one I buy goods from.
We're gonna build here?
Right here. Ready to...
I'm...
Go. Around my own place. Now I'm sorry I did. How's that? The roof is only fit for firewood. Half the rafters are rotten. It'll all have to be replaced. But at least the rest of the house is all right. Only that fucking roof. That's some comfort at least. God bless.
What is it this time?
We have a problem with water. That is, with the stream. With the, use of the stream.
The stream? What seems to be the trouble?
Sir, they won't let me have a shit.
What's that?
Your locator here won't let people go for a shit.
God give me strength.
Master Locator...
I never forbade anyone to defecate. It's not something that can be prohibited anyway.
You did so.
All I asked was that people did their business further downstream. After all, we don't want our water supply contaminated. It could cause disease.
I've decided. Defecating will only be allowed at least 150 feet from the village. Anyone caught infringing this decree will get 10 lashes of the cane.
What? That's nearly as much as for stealing.
A strict decree, I admit. But it's for the common good.
Well, at least we have permission to go and shit again. I'll go and tell the fellas we can go.
You mean you haven't... No, don't say it.
Well, after talking to you, I went and had a good look around my own place. And now I'm sorry I did.
How's that?